Yep, ready.
Scott, thank you so much. Now, as a shoutcaster, we have two jobs. You bring the color, you bring the information, and as a hype commentator, I'm here to bring, the excitement and the belief to the audience that anything can happen.
Yep.
Now, Thorin's made that job so much harder, so I'd like to thank Thorin for his honest opinion. So I think you're going to do a lot of the talking in this one, Fifth Round.
Well, that's fine. I mean, first of all, we're not going to count PENTA out at all.
That's the spirit. Thorin should have said that.
Yeah, well, they still made it out of groups, right? They're here to play. They're not just going to give Virtus.Pro the win. It might be one-sided, but at least they're going to try.
I think we're going to see something straight out of the bat from Virtus.Pro, and Neo going to see action from PENTA coming his way any moment. Now, I'll get on to PENTA, because we were talking about them earlier on, but as we see Virtus.Pro edging their way over towards this B-side, first shot will be Neo. BO3 joins in the fun, and the Virtus.Pro side have helped themselves to 4 of the 5. Crystal, the last man standing! Oh, and that would have been a really rude awakening for him, and he found a knife in his back. Virtus.Pro pick up the pistol round, but talk to us about PENTA. You've known them, you've played against Crystal since Source days. What is the rule book on them?
Well, Crystal was known in Source for being actually a pretty decent offer. Like, he's not bad, and they're not a bad team. It's just that, as we see in the pistol here, I think that Virtus.Pro is probably slightly better in terms of firepower, in terms of tactical approach, even though we're talking about Virtus.Pro here. They're not really that tactical. But they know what they need to do, and even Taz even brought a book. I don't know if it's tactics, I don't know if it's dirty slang words in German, or God knows what it is, but this is the first time I actually see him come in like that prepared with even a book.
With a book. Normally he's just got his phone taking videos before he comes on and off stage.
Exactly, and one thing to note as well, Virtus.Pro, coming into this tournament, they haven't really been looking that strong, like from previous tournaments. This tournament, however, just previously before coming into to Dreamhack, they've been looking a lot better than usual. That was actually a cheeky boost from Crystal and the guy boosting him up.
Crystal gets boosted out and towards the mid, goes looking for the Virtus.Pro player on the other side, and it'll be Taz and his Famas to pick themselves up 2 frags. BO3 joins in. They have lost one. Dennis picked himself up the frag onto BO3, but just one person left up, and the pistol round is converted into 2 by VP. Other players on that PENTA side that you've come across in your career?
Dennis, Speedy, Robson, and well, they're all players that's been playing for a long time. It's not like they have some specific players that's new to the game, that's new to the scene. It's just that they just haven't really been at the top of other teams. They can still play, it's just that when it comes to, I think we have Virtus.Pro is counted as one of the best teams in the world, whereas PENTA is, a mid-tier team. They can do some damage, I just don't think it's going to happen versus Virtus.Pro.
BO3 picks off the head of Dennis from afar as he'll now wait for Crystal to come his way. He's been able to just bounce into the smoke, and Crystal will now begin to make his move. There are Famas trained here over on the A side, and BO3 gets himself frag number 2, joined in by the biceps of Pasha, who claims 2 to add to BO3's 2, and that will be a lovely clean sweep. And in fact, in the opening rounds, Virtus.Pro have lost only, what, 2 kills. That's it.
Yeah, and well, we have a pause here as well, but one thing to note here as well, this is actually a really important round for PENTA, just to set the tone of the game. Because you saw on the pistol round, PENTA actually tried to go for B. Instead of Virtus.Pro just waiting for them to enter the B site, they actually took the fight before they even had a chance to enter the bomb site. And that just shows to me that they're looking very confident. They're saying, we are the much better team here. We're not going to let them do a bunch of stuff that might actually harm us. So we'll see what happens now during the first weapon round. I'm hoping to see Crystal picked up the op. He's probably gonna, depending on the spawn, he's probably just gonna go for a pick and mid, trying to get Pasha off guard. But I'm actually hoping, because Neo does a great job at holding B. I think you should try to probably aim a little bit more towards A, because I think PENTA will have a very hard time to reach that B bomb site.
We're about to find out where they go as we move into round 4. Virtus.Pro 3-0 up, quarterfinal number 2 here. Dreamhack Winter 2014, last major of the year. $250,000 up for grabs this weekend. And it will be a headshot from Dennis to dispatch of the Tasmanian Devil of Virtus.Pro. And his words, not mine. Virtus.Pro suddenly had a little bit of the wind knocked out of their sails, realized this is not just going to be a walk in the park. Crystal and that AWP now, for which both Thorid and Fiflaren have called him out for being quite a nuisance, will move their way out and towards the mid-side. It's going to be Pasha though to level up the numbers. Dennis gets dropped.
I like this from PENTA. They're taking over middle, they're slow and steady, they're not rushing anything. Now Virtus.Pro actually had 3 guys in mid at the start of this round. They even it up. It's 3 versus 3. It's actually not a bad situation for PENTA.
Trading frags, that AWP of Crystal yet to really find its target as he edges his way looking over towards that A site. Snax is the man on the other side who will soon see action as the 3 PENTA players begin to make their way there, and the other 2 VP players are over at B, so big opportunity if they can find Snax and shut him down quickly, but Snax is having none of it. Tries to go out firing, will flash out behind and then through the smoke, almost lined up perfectly to get himself that frag, but down. Now we're at 2 on 3. Reinforcements have made their way here as the Molotov glows off, and Pasha will jump into the fire. They had no idea he'd come that way, and Pasha delivers the double frag. Awesome play from him. Neo now going to finish off the job, but PENTA pick up the round. And, well, 2 big talking points then. Did you see Pasha jumping over the fire?
That's the thing. That's what you're expecting from Pasha. Pasha has that mentality. It's like, yeah, I'm going to throw this. I'm going to catch them off guard. Who would expect him to just rush it through his own Molotov? That's Pasha things.
And then almost finished off the job, but Spitty in the end closing out that round, and PENTA have round number 4 and have their foot in the door.
They do, and like I said before, that first weapon round is actually key. Now Virtus.Pro can buy one more time. If they end up losing this one, they're going to have to save, and that would be a terrific start for PENTA.
Neo gets picked off by Crystal's AWP, and PENTA have themselves a bit of momentum building here as they down the legend of many a CS game.
I want to say as well, if PENTA's actually done their homework, they will know on this map, Virtus.Pro, they play extremely aggressive. They want to go for these entry frags. They're going to push everywhere and try and get it. So if PENTA just stays calm and collect and just hold something, they will just end up getting an entry frag. Just what happened now, because Neo was actually peeking Crystal, and Crystal had an AWP. Neo also had an AWP, but it went Crystal's way.
Snax exchanges frag, Spitty gets the better of him, and now that AWP will come in from Pasha, picks up that next frag, and we are running out of Germans here as Crystal gets dropped, and Virtus.Pro pick themselves up round number 5.
Yeah, and what we saw there was PENTA got the entry onto Neo, but they didn't have any map control. So Virtus.Pro, again, like I was talking about, they play aggressively. They knew for a fact that, well, there's no PENTA players on A. We can just push here, and we're going to flank them. We're going to come, you know, we have every man on B, and that was an easy pickup for Virtus.Pro.
So, during this eco round, talk to us about what it's like to play against a Virtus.Pro side in full flow. IEM Katowice at the beginning of the year, you faced a team that was just destined to win that on that day.
It's extremely hard, especially when they have everything going in their favor. You know, they really want to win for Poland, and you can tell the way they were playing that throughout the whole tournament. They were solid, and when you come up, and like I was talking about before, Virtus.Pro haven't been that great coming into this tournament, but they have really stepped up their game. You just look at the group stage matches as well. They molested Na'Vi. Like, that should not happen. Na'Vi isn't that great on a best of 1, but 16-2, that just shows that Virtus.Pro, they've done their homework, and they're going to be tough to beat.
The big game players, is that a safe way to describe them?
Yeah, well, and like Thor was saying as well, they do well in these best of 3s. I hardly see them. They're never the team that people get an upset on. Sure, they might lose versus other top tier teams, but there's very, very few that can actually upset a team like Virtus.Pro.
Spitty is in trouble because he knows where Snax has gone, and as he tries to fire a few shots off over into the mid, Snax is going to just continue to return the favor with a hell of a hat-trick, and finally goes down, but Taz will return that out, and it'll be 6-1, and VP begin to assert their dominance here.
Yeah, and again, I would love to see PENTA go more towards A. They've been trying out B now, and I think they're realizing that, first of all, Virtus.Pro, their backup towards B is extremely fast, and they do a good job over there, whereas for the A bomb site, I think they would have a better, an easier way to actually get into the sites.
Well, let's see whether they take your advice on this. Looks like again they'll try and assert mid-control. And will exchange up against Pasha. They do have the AWP in the hands of Crystal this round, but Pasha with a momentary opportunity to take that out, doesn't do so. And Pasha will retreat and change position.
And take over middle there, Penta, and that's actually also a good job, just to force Virtus.Pro back. And they gained some map control, and what I want to see now is I want them to split A. They got guys in middle, and they got the bomb somewhat towards A, and that would be a good way to just put Virtus.Pro on the spot.
You do have a man going around towards B. It is Spitty who's down there. 2 players in there. First frag comes the way of Crystal. Pasha goes down, taking down the big man as Neo will have to come into play. They've got Crystal in on frag number 2. Then Felix follows up as well, and Neo goes out. All out for VP, and Taz and Bjarne are going to have to do something about it. Do they fancy this fight? I don't think they do. And the bomb is planted. There are 4 players already outside of the site with a very, I guess you call it, expansive bomb defense, and VP are going to go nowhere near that. And this will be Penta to pick up their second round. And what worked there? Was it them early? Was it taking mid control for perhaps the first time this round?
Yeah, they took mid control. They got an entry. Crystal actually went up in middle. Actually got another frag onto the guys on A, and that was actually their rotator, the guy that actually rotates to B when the stuff is happening over at the B bomb site. So they actually cut the rotation off, which was like a great job by Penta.
And they chase down the 2 players. A lot of people watching CS for the first time this weekend. Talk us through the importance of chasing out those last 2 players.
Well, for Penta, I actually would not advise them to do so because they're low on money already. For Virtus.Pro, however, since they've won so many rounds in a row, they have the economy. Sure, next round the Virtus.Pro will have to save, but then again, you want to keep Penta's money to a low as well. So if Virtus.Pro wins this round, they're going to have to save again. And that's why it's important for these 2 guys. Sure, they want to save their weapons, they don't want to lose the weapons because it's just going to mess up their economy even more. You want to take positions where you can actually get some frags instead.
Snacks peeking out of the ducks down towards the mid area and assassinates Felix. VP with Crystal now edging through mid and looking up towards that A site. He's actually going to come heads on with someone in just a moment as Taz is the man waiting to get confirmation that there is a man to the right as he looks to his left. He will just about see Crystal, and Crystal will get the warning shot. Reinforcements coming. That bomb is rotating its way around towards A, but very slowly. The Penta players that are there haven't really backed up Crystal, who's been in mid and with that AWP for a good kind of 30-odd seconds before anyone came to help him. And Virtus.Pro go 1 by 1 in these frags, and Penta have just Spitty left up 1 versus 5, and he will get the first that is Neo, but has only 6 points of health left after that. And Pasha's grenade will finish him off. 7-2 VP.
Yeah, and one thing to know about Penta, I actually like the way that they're playing right now. Sure, they lost a round, but they're actually taking some chances. You saw Crystal go up A ramp all by himself with an AWP. That just shows to me that, sure, we're the underdogs, but we're going to try our best, and we're going to do our best to, you know, maybe catch Virtus.Pro off guard. It didn't work that round, but if they keep doing stuff like this, sooner or later it's going to work out.
Glowing, and
this is also what I was saying about it's important for VP when they're saving their weapons last round to actually try and kill a few Penta members, because right now they're on a save again.
Frag from Spitty onto Neo, waiting for Spitty on the other side of the smoke was Snacks, and we're down to a 4-on-4, but Crystal has picked up Neo's M4, and let's see whether there's a bomb plant in there as well for Penta. Money in the bank and frags to boot. But they're running out of players, and so are VP. We're down to a 2 versus 2. Taz and Bjarne to have to save this one for Virtus.Pro, and Penta having none of it. Dennis has 2 frags, Felix has just 4 points of health, and Dennis will complete his hat-trick, and Penta will win the eco, taking that B site with it.
Yeah, again, it was a solid eco. I actually thought that VP would just retake that site, because they got the bomb down. That's great news for Penta, but Virtus.Pro, they retake that site 1 at a time. They got torn apart. You just wait for your teammates and retake the site together. There's no way they would have lost that. Instead, they took it sloppy. They underestimated Penta's abilities to actually frag, and they end up losing the round because of it.
Now, Now, having talked with, we'll come back to this in a second. Crystal gets himself that frag onto Snacks, and Penta making sure that they are no underdog in this. They've made sure the Virtus.Pro know that if they give them an opportunity, they will take it. And we'll see whether they can take control of mid and outdo Taz. But Taz's headshot reminds us all what this VP side are capable of. Follows it up with 2 more. Lovely play from Taz. Has he got a 4th? Well, the remaining player is Robson, who will escape with his life momentarily. He's now alone, 1 on 4. We'll go looking for Yarley coming down from 8. It is. And VP with an exceptional round, led by the man himself.
Yeah, Taz, good job holding middle. Penta again, they got the entry frag, but they're not doing anything about it. You see Taz here. This is Taz in a nutshell, right? He does something nice. He lets Penta know that, hey, I'm an old guy. And you guys just messed up. It was 3 nice frags. So coming in from Taz.
Talking with Taz, Taz's role this year, he's trying to take the burden off himself. He's trying to let other people rise up. How easy is that to do?
I think it does a good job. Like, I think it's important for a team, especially like VP, because they haven't been doing that well. So then it's good to actually take a step back and think about, okay, what can we do to actually improve our game plan here? And one of the things, like Thorin was saying, is Neo and Taz, they used to be super good, but perhaps you have 2 new superstars in your team, which is Snacks and Bialy. These are the 2 guys that actually made you guys win in Catteridge. Without them, you probably would never won. So just let them shine and just try to help them shine to the best to your abilities.
And he's trying to get their ideas. He doesn't want to be the only one pushing the organization. He wants, what have you got to say? What strat should we run? And he's changed it mid-game sometimes, just based off what Snacks has had to say. So interesting from Taz. And you mentioned he's the old guy. First thing he'll tell you when he got to me is, first thing, I'm an old man. I don't know how long I got left in the tank.
And then you might as well just make the best of it.
On board with Pasha now, who's about to see action going in towards A as they follow Fifth Laren's advice and, well, we're about to make that assault, but the Molotov doing its damage. Dennis down to 38 points of health. We have lost Crystal, and that AWP will be a little slow in coming from Pasha that time, and that allowed Robson to get some frag onto Bialy, but Pasha not slow the second time around. Reinforcements coming in the shape of Neo, who loses his head off Dennis, and we're down to a 1 on 2. Pasha on just 7 points of health, but nothing in the tank for Dennis, and that will in the end matter not as the headshot comes in, and VP pick up round number 12.
Yeah, and sure, Penta actually tried to hit A there, but they didn't really have the nades for it. Like, they smoked off one side, and that's all they had. Yeah, sure, they threw 1 flash, but I was expecting, you know, some Molotovs, some extra smokes, so you actually clear out the side, because that side is also extremely hard to get into, but it's a lot easier with Molotovs.
Grenade out! Grenade out! Smoke. Throwing smoke.
Pasha picks himself up the frag onto Dennis as VP look to clean out this eco round. Your thoughts on Penta? They picked up 3, but they've been a valid part of this game. There hasn't been quite the whitewash that we saw yesterday, say, with some of the foreign teams.
No, of course not. I mean, they're getting the frags. They're getting the entry frags quite a lot, actually. It's just that they're not making use of the entry frags that they're getting. And this is the kind of the situation where perhaps maybe if you were a slightly better team, you know, a well-known team, and you had been doing so well during recent tournaments, you will probably learn that, okay, when we get an entry, they're going to be weak somewhere. We just have to figure out which one did we kill, what happens with their rotation, and where can we make the best use of that entry fight that we got. And this is something that I feel Penta is lacking. They get their entry, they should just group up somewhere, run a tactic, and try to figure out, okay, where is VP, like which side would be the best option to hit for Penta.
Let's see what they've got in the locker for this one. They are 7 rounds down against the Katowice champions. And the fairy tale of Virtus.Pro has continued since then, going on. They have a great year. Won Gfinity along the way as well. Virtus.Pro with Taz edging forward through the mid. He's got players to his right as well. Felix will now see action from Snacks. Snacks picks up the first. Oh, quick frag from Dennis though will stop him going any further. Neo to see action now. It'll be Neo to get Dennis. It's a combination of Crystal get the frags, but Pasha will finish off that round, picking up the remaining two with his CZ. And VP going into the last round of the half have quite the lead.
Yeah, and again, they tried to hit B. They didn't take any map control. VP was, you know, their backup was. That's the thing about VP. Their backup on a map like Cash is superb.
Talk us through what you mean by that.
Well, I mean, if you just hit B without taking over mid, without, you know, showing yourself on A or anything like that, VP is gonna punish you for it, and that's exactly what happened now. The two times that I actually tried to go B. Sure, they get it. They get the first entry onto the B side, but Virtus.Pro, they're flanking you. Like all 5 members or the remaining 4, they're there within seconds because they didn't take over. They didn't gain map control.
Not much left in the bank for PENTA in this last round. Auto sniper comes out from Pasha, does get himself the first. Taz helps himself to another, and it'll be just 2 more frags separating VP from a 12-3 halftime lead. Excellent play from the Poles. Let's talk about Germany. You know, across CS history, I know you're Swedish, so you might not know this, but other countries sometimes win events and do really well. Poland has always had this one strong team. France have always had a team, you know, on cycles that has come up and down. Germany had that Maus team that had, you know, such great success and always had a very healthy mid-tier. Hasn't happened in Go. What's been the reason, do you think?
I mean, they have the players. They have a very large base of CS:GO players in Germany. I kind of feel like I'm gonna take Germany like as North America. They have the players. It's just that there's not a lot of things going on over there. They have their scene. They have ESL, you know, and it feels like they're more focused to be the best German team than they are to be one of the top contenders for the international scene. And it's the same for North America. Sure, you have Cloud9 here and you have Alpha Power here competing, but at the end of the day, they're just fighting for that #1 NA spot. They're not fighting for the better team in the international scene, and that's kind of how I feel about the German scene as well.
Another question for you, kind of wearing your heart on your sleeve, those phenomenal pictures we saw of Get Right in Cologne, you know, any game that Taz plays, you know, it's spectacular. Back in kind of your earlier years in CGS, that heart on your sleeve was forced or faked.
Yeah.
You know, the famous "What Up Now" Swedes from Shagwa was, you know, that was what those TV guys wanted to hear,
yes.
and they encouraged the lovely, the likes of Critical and whatnot to do more and more of that.
Yep.
Now you see it all the time, and that sporting element is really shining through. For you, what was your most emotional moment when you're up in a major event?
Well, I mean, Cologne, the major that we won, was actually a really big deal. Like you were saying, like when I was playing CGS, that was televised. So they want to make good TV. Sure, like, I mean, we had it good, but when we came into play, it was all about, you know, give yourself out to the public, you know, do something funny, you know, show yourself that this is televised, you know, you need to make a good impression and whatnot. And then, like you're saying, it kind of gets fake, because it's not really who you are. But when you play a major and, you know, the only thing stopping you from winning that major is yourself, and then when you end up winning after actually we finished second 2 times in a row, then that's genuinely being happy.
Well, we'll come back to that. We're underway. We'll get game sounds in just a moment, I'm sure. And VP ready to try to close out what they started here. PENTA, though, will pick themselves up the first frag. It's Robson that connects, and now PENTA have that man advantage as they try to hold on to this A site. But Pasha coming from mid will connect. Neo then joins in the party. VP stopped in their tracks by Spitty, and PENTA will have 3 players defending from afar. Is there a bomb going down? Yes, there is, and it will be Neo to put in that code as Crystal makes his way around the back, gets a brief angle onto one of those VP players, are all low on health, up against the 2 remaining Germans who have guns trained on them. First frag, second frag from Crystal, and Neo has 7 points of health against Dennis's 8. Can he do it? Dennis will save PENTA and will give them a lifeline going into their CT side.
Yeah, great retake by PENTA there. Crystal with 2 frags, and then obviously Dennis with the clutch to win a round. I actually did enjoy Virtus.Pro pistol round. They had 4 guys going towards A, and then Pasha was actually waiting in middle to try and flank the Penta's rotation from B.
And that was that second level you were saying that Penta didn't have on their T side first half.
Exactly. But Penta did a good job. It was a solid retake, and that clutch from Dennis. They're gonna give him some more rounds on the board.
So Penta with a lifeline. As they will to extend this out, they're gonna go.
And you can tell here by Virtus.Pro, they just want to get this map over with. They actually chose to buy now. You know, 3 pistols, 1 AK, and 1 scout. They're looking to win this round.
And will that be to try and tempt the unexpected from Penta?
I think so. I think the Penta is expecting them to buy the pistols. I don't think they're expecting an AK and a scout. And they also have a bunch of nades. They have 2 Molotovs and a smoke, or actually 3 Molotovs. So as we see here, it's gonna actually be an A round. This is the one that they've known to do when they're actually on an eco. They smoke off the site, they Molotov, and they will just try to at least get the bomb down and just go for the after plants.
Here we go with Dennis about to see action in on A. The smoke is in and Virtus.Pro about to follow it up. Dennis gets a slither of one of those players, but will follow up with a full frag onto Neo. The Molotov will force them back as Felix now comes out looking for the frag. Virtus.Pro have just won, having lost 3. As Robson comes in, returns that favor. Penta do lose Dennis in the end, but it's Pasha now, 1 on 2. He's under fire, but it's a lovely jumping shot. Can he finish off the job onto Crystal? No, he can't. And Penta convert, but at a cost of 3 men.
Yeah, but it was a good hold. I mean, Virtus.Pro actually bought everything they could. They had 3 Molotovs and smokes, and they had weapons. They had AK and they had pistols and a scout. That boost from Penta on the side, that actually saved them the round, because he got that entry. He actually messed up Virtus.Pro's round, and then they held the site better than what I expected them to do.
12-5. VP on it. Saves it. Revisits, or see action here from Crystal anyway, as he is taken out by that flash from Taz, but Penta should clean sweep what's coming in towards this B site. VP just trying to rush a plant in there if they can, but will not be able to get that bomb down, and the last man standing is Pasha up against 3, has and then 4, but the nade will drop him down. Let's revisit that conversation about, you know, the passion of winning those events when you put it all into it. Yep. Are we now seeing this kind of, we saw the TV era, now we're moving into this kind of, you know, online era where it's much more natural, much less forced, and as a result, much more is coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as the scene progresses, the feelings, and, you know, because it's a big deal to win a major. There's so many teams that's competing for the same thing, and the competitive scene in CSGO right now is actually, I mean, there's a lot of teams that can compete for that first place.
The Thor in top 10 has so many. We were talking about it whilst he was showing it on the screen, and
I like this from Penta. They're actually going aggressive. They're pushing up in middle. They actually boosted a guy there as well to try and catch VP off guard. This is great from Dennis.
Snacks, though, will remind us what it's all about. Headshot dispatches of Dennis as Felix makes his way back over towards that A site. Bomb not picked up by VP. They're waiting to see whether they can follow that frag up on Dennis with an opening into another site. And they'll make their commitment shortly. They are looking now to make their way over towards the mid area. There's no one from Penta actually in there. They've split 2-2, 2 on B, 2 on A. And Bialy makes his way around the back of Felix in on the A site, who is momentarily flashed. Crystal to see action as well. That one player in A is a distraction for these 4 players coming in towards B now, as Crystal's going to have to earn his keep here, as he will see momentarily Pasha, but now all 4 of them coming his way. Snacks is next in. Reinforcements are coming. Bialy has the frag onto Robson, then it'll be Spiddy to follow suit. Crystal goes down, and VP with a perfect dummy, and Felix is going to have to do something quite spectacular to get out of this. He's 2 frags in, and I tell you what, the remaining players are relatively low health. He himself has just 21 points of health. Let's see whether this is to be his moment on the big stage. Can see no one as well, but connects onto Snacks. What have you got, Felix? Little bit of time to explore, but not much. Pasha to his left, and VP doing a great job of being hard to find, and Felix is about to be found as Virtus.Pro finish him off and take the round.
That was actually doable by Felix. And amazing, like the first 3 frags, they were amazing. The last one was actually very good. This is the difference between a team like Virtus.Pro of that caliber and Penta, right? Virtus.Pro got the entry. what they did was they made sure that they went to the sites where they wouldn't have enough people and whatnot. That's why the fake from BO3 on A is actually so good, because it forces Penta to actually stay on the site. So when Virtus.Pro is hitting B, the rotation just isn't there, and it's going to be super slow. So as long as they get into the B bomb site, they get the bomb down, they pretty much have the round. Now Felix actually tried to make the best of it. He got 3 nice kills. He just couldn't close out the round for Penta.
Penta down onto an eco, and VP just 3 away from taking map 1, which was Penta's choice as well.
Yeah, it was, and I don't really understand the reasoning for Penta to actually choose a map like Cache versus Virtus.Pro, a map that they're known for. Virtus.Pro is known for their Cache play. They're extremely solid on this map. Maybe they want to take a gamble, you know, we'll do the best of it, and we'll just see where we stand in terms of raw skill.
2 players down for VP. Snacks and BO3 both out. Pasha, though, will begin to start leveling up those numbers, joined up by Taz as well, and Penta lose Robson to the bouncing grenade of Pasha. VP look now to close this round out. Taz will escort the bomb in. So Neo picks himself up the frag onto Dennis, and that is just Crystal left up. That will go no further. VP 14, Penta 6, and thus far a routine performance by Virtus.Pro.
Yes, and one thing I think that Penta should do now is just try and gamble a little bit. Don't just stand and hold your positions, because obviously that's not working. You know, push B with 2 guys, try and get the entry and down fall back. First of all, you're making Virtus.Pro stressed. They just lost a man and they lost map control from the area that they're trying to get an entry on, and Virtus.Pro has to rotate just to get that map control back. And it forces Virtus.Pro in a very awkward position.
Neo will lead the nades for VP, who are about to follow them up in towards that A site and move quickly as they do so. It's Robson who will first face BO3, connects as the flash goes off and then tries to finish off the job. Virtus.Pro follow them in, 4 players leading that charge as Neo connects onto Robson, and it's now Dennis who'll join him down, as Spitty is the man who's charged with holding on to that A site and holding on to Penta's chances here as he and Felix combine, but will go no further, and the lead is now 9 map points.
Yep.
For Virtus.Pro.
And I want to point out here as well that Pasha is having a great game so far. He's kind of the pillar of Virtus.Pro at the moment. He used to be, in the beginning of 2014, he was probably one of the best players in the world. And if he can come into this tournament with the same amount of skill and that he had during the first quarter of this year, Virtus.Pro is a very deadly force. But when Pasha isn't on, Virtus.Pro aren't doing that well. They actually rely a lot on Pasha to actually get these frags, play well, and then you have Snacks and BO3 as well as their superstars to come in and kind of clean up the job when Pasha does do these random things like run through a smoke and try and win the round.
How easy is it for a player like Neo to transition to allow a player like Pasha to really grow into the star that he has done?
I think it's been extremely difficult for Neo, because I think that he had a lot of pressure at the start of CSGO to be that kind of superstar that he was in 1.6. So that actually adds a lot of pressure as well, to realize for yourself, well, maybe I'm not cut out to be the superstar anymore. Maybe I should just leave this to the younger kids that can actually do a better job than I can.
VP 3-on-3 here is Penta. Look to make sure that they're not forgotten as they pick themselves up a man advantage. It's Pasha and BO3, the last 2 standing. 2 CZs left up for BO3. Going to have to make up for that, and isn't going to. Bomb planted. Pasha has 10 points of health courtesy of BO3, and that will be a round for Penta that VP somewhat gave away. If there was a camera on Taz, you'd know he'd be shaking his head.
Well, I don't know what really happened there. I don't know if BO3 wanted to maybe help Penta get a few more rounds on the board, or if nerves, perhaps. The communication probably wasn't on top. But again, like, it's a free round for Penta, right? They should be happy about that. It doesn't really matter what the outcome was or how it happened. They got an extra round, and the way they keep going, like, I mean, if you keep on throwing away rounds like this, then this match might actually be closer than what it probably should have been. Now it's still 15-7. I still think that, you know, there's no way Virtus.Pro is going to let this slip.
But I'm sure they'll appreciate us showing the replay of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're trying the same boost again.
Dennis tries to counter and will push him back. That nade, though, will be...
Throwing grenade.
Well, only took Dennis down to 68, but VP going to push on over towards that A site where the nades are in as well, as they'll come up against Robson, who's boosted nicely. And Bjarli getting pushed in the back from Dennis. Bjarli and Snacks do have frags, but Penta are returning frag for frag. Robson doing a good job picking up 2 of his own. Just Spiddy and Crystal left up against Pasha and Snacks. Yes. Penta go into the breach once more.
Flashbang.
It will be Spiddy to push in, and Penta can just sit. They don't need to be showing. VP have to come to them, remember. And Crystal will push in, gets himself the frag onto Pasha, nicely done. Is there a second? Yes, there is. Well played, Crystal. And a little bit of aggression there from Penta. Pays off.
Yeah, it did. Crystal, great job there. I like the fact that VP actually took their time there when it was the 2-on-2. They could have just rushed aside if they wanted to, but they would have probably lost the round sooner. Instead, they just waited, and they actually forced Penta to actually rotate back to B, because they assumed that, okay, they've rotated back already, you know, we don't have anyone B. But Crystal did a nice job there, holding off the side from by himself.
Smoke.
The deficit is just 7 now. And VP...
And they're on a save.
Yeah.
Smoke. Deploying flashbang.
Is there a
Grenade
Penta-shaped miracle to happen?
Throwing smoke.
VP push out in towards mid, and it's Felix that will combat them with the help of Crystal's AWP, and they push out and enjoy themselves a very clean round. 6 rounds the difference.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too excited yet.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not over until you have 16 rounds on the board. And Virtus.Pro, they don't have that much money. They're still gonna buy, but they're not gonna want the nades that they probably should actually be buying. Since, you know what, even though Penta is a lower skill cap team that you are, you don't want to underestimate them. Now they have one Molotov, they have their smokes, so VP can still make a round out of this.
Crystal connects with a frag onto Neo as he pushed out from B, and that's stopped the B push in its tracks, and now they're isolated to 3 coming mid, where Felix will see them, and he will quickly retreat as they push out to try and finish off the job. They do, and courtesy of Snacks that gets that frag. And where do they go from here? They do have a man down by B. And the warp from Crystal rattles off in the distance as Spiddy gets picked off by Pasha coming out of the ducks, and now it's Crystal who's going to have to bail Penta out here, fires off blindly, and will retreat. Reinforcements coming in the shape of Robson from A, and Dennis will be the man who gets in on the action next, but Taz is having nothing of it. Penta's map is on the line here. Bomb planted, 2-on-4 after one in favor of the T side of Virtus.Pro.
Deploying flashbang.
And again afterwards on that B site, there's not a VP player to be seen. Crystal gets in there. Robson's been allowed to push in, but Snacks will stop him in his tracks, and they know exactly where Crystal is. He's going to have to go for this and do something special, which VP won't allow, and they close out the match 16-9. The scoreline may be more